Прийшли окупанти до нас в Україну, форма новенька, воєнні машини, та трохи поплавився їх інвентар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Російські танкісти сховались в кущі, щоб лаптю посорбати довбані щі, та трохи у щах перегрівся навар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Зі сходу припхались до нас барани, для восстановлення великої страни, найкращий пастух баранячих отар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Їх доводи всяке озброєння, різне, ракети, потужні машини залізні, у нас на всі доводи є коментар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Вони захопити хотіли нас зразу, і ми зачаїли на орків образу, з бандитів російських робить примар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Російська поліція справи заводить, на вбивцю рашистів ніяк не знаходить, хто ж винен, що в нашому полі глухар. Байрактар. Байрактар. Веде пропаганду кремлівський урод, слова пропаганди ковтає народ, тепер нове слово знає їх цар.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for being here. Always appreciated. And that was the Bayraktar drone song. For those of you who want to look it up, I'm sure Mango Jones will drop the link. So it's been a little bit. It's been a couple weeks. I know it's a weekly war update, but long story short, I've had a lot of work plus the 4th of July weekend. I'm the fireworks uncle. I had to do that and then make up all the other fucking shit that I missed from, well, partying hard. Anyway, so unfortunately, I haven't been able to get this settled until now, and I'm gonna start doing these on Sunday. I did want to do the what I think I'm going to start doing is just before this, I'm going to release on the main channel the a weekly touch of grass. And I already have one video locked and loaded. I just have to, well, I just have to actually premiere it. I also have to kind of got to cut it a little bit again. So I'll get that done. And I also got to plug in my headphones because they just beeped at me. But we will do that here in just a second, and I will play something while I go and grab my cord. But anyway, so every Sunday I'm going to be doing this probably around 9:30, just to set a time, and we're gonna call it, because I try to do it Thursdays, but look, I oftentimes I'm way too fucking tired from work, and there's a lot of other shit going on. Plus, I'm just like not in the mood to watch people like go through this at work. A lot of the time I have to sit down for like an hour plus, go through all the combat footage and find the things that I need, and like sometimes I just get really depressed watching some of this shit. I'm just like, okay, I gotta actually look at other stuff. But how dare you know exactly what I was going to do? Bayraktar Jones song right there. All right, it's because we know each other too well. Also, subscribe to the main channel. I got a puppy dog here. She was looking at me like, what are you doing? And I think she's up on her perch now, but I gave her a toy and she was throwing it around. She's a sweetheart. I do not have any links for myself in the description. Please do check out the description. I believe it has the charity description. It should. So you should have all of the charity links. The link, if you haven't seen the torture meal, please go and check that out. The link is still there to vote on it, but that's been over for over a month. But yeah, I was kind of neglectful in the details of my last couple streams, hence the reason brunch started at fucking like 10:30 and 11:30 was scheduled for 10:30 rather. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So real quick, I'm just gonna, while I go and grab my headphone thing, I'm just gonna play the Kiffness, and I don't know, the Kiffness is pretty fucking cool, so check it out.
Червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну веселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну
Kiffness is fucking sweet. Yeah, you can make music out of anything. Yeah, we'll play this in the background. So, my bad. I'm just disorganized this weekend. My bad. My sodium intake is forever changed after that meal. Fuck sodium. Yeah. I'm very careful about the amount of like salt that I use now. I'm way more careful than I used to be, because I used to just like, I wanted the salt flavor and everything like that. I wanted the flavor enhancement. Salt is not, it's not a flavor, it's a flavor enhancer. So you use salt in conjunction with your other spices in order to bring out the flavor of those spices and the vehicle that you're using, with the meat, protein, the protein or the vegetable, whatever. Sorry I missed the invite earlier. I've been passed out all day, woke up and it's 6:43 p.m. Hey man, don't worry about it. It's all good. When I send out links for brunch, and this is talking about the main channel, when I send out links for brunch, I don't typically expect anyone to show up, let alone everyone to show up, because I send it out kind of in mass, and I know everybody's all over the world, and you guys all have something to do. So whenever you're just like, even if you wake up and you're just like, you grab your coffee and you just like pop on, yeah, you're welcome by all means. So you got the link for a fucking reason. And sometimes I will put it out in the chat so that other people can come in. I do like to give a little selectiveness because I do want some folks that I know not to feel excluded, but I do like to have new people on. So if you like brunch, check out the brunch channel or brunch link that our brunch show that we just did today. It was a lot of fun. You guys get to learn some lore about security monitor lizard. So I'm sure that won't, come to bite me in the ass or anything later or get even deeper. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. That all being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to try and do the UA map without my computer crashing because I've been having a decent amount of fucking trouble with my computer. It's just not doing, it's not working as it did before, and it wasn't working very well before. So we can only suspect what's more is going on, which is me having to take it in for maintenance. All right. So anyway, check it out. All right, let's get into this. So what have we missed in the war between Russia and Ukraine? And it is a war, and I'll say this for everyone because I know there's probably going to be new people to the channel at some point. When I call this a conflict, every war is a conflict. Not every conflict is a war. Okay, I'm just using it kind of interchangeably to not say war all the time. Kind of not to be repetitive. Is all I'm going to say. So if anybody's like, look, whoa, it's not a conflict, it's war. Yes, it is a conventional war, and this is going pretty fucking crazy. But we'll get into that. And let's check out what's been happening here on the magical map. Magical map, you can check out right there, live UA map, and you can follow along if you want as well. And check all these out. So as you can see, last time we had a whole hell of a lot more of these bomb things, which are these are shell strikes and bombings and everything. Fire burning an oil depot. And these are just representations of the stories that they have over here that you can look at on Twitter and wherever the source actually is. Yeah, Russian army shelled. So these are shellings. And anything blue is obviously Ukrainian. So Ukrainian Air Forces, yesterday, Russian helicopter was shot down. And then death toll of Russian shelling in Chasiv Yar increased to 10. So you can see that that's the progress that the Ukrainians are making. And essentially, I knew that was going to happen. As long as it doesn't restart, you might be good. No, it's going to restart. No, it's not. All right. Sweet. Okay. So it's not going to restart, but is it going to show it? There it is. All right. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. Also, check this out. If you guys really want to help out, if you really want to help me make sure that these Ukrainian streams actually function properly, please hit that. I do have super chats available on the other channel, but not on this one. So keep that in mind. I just can't. That's why I'm using the Cash App. If you don't feel safe using Cash App, look, it gives you your personal information. I don't want your personal information. I will thank you, and we will be on our way. That's about it. You'll also get my personal information. Mine's a lot more public. It's a little different. All right. So anyway, sorry I have the windows open. You're going to hear a lot of stuff going on outside. So what do we got? So as you can see, we've got some of this blue shading down here, blue-gray. They didn't use a deeper color. I don't know. They're not going to use the pale blue of the sea, obviously, but I feel like they should use like a deeper color. It's just they're trying to get the opacity. It just doesn't really work. So what we're seeing is essentially what I was talking about last time. The Ukrainians are going to be holding the Russians back for now, and that's what we're going to see for the most part, is basically holding this line. And a while back, I talked about how the Russians are possibly trying to just split the country, and their takeover of Mariupol was a key moment in taking over this massive area of land and being able to open up ports into I believe this is the Black Sea. Hold on, I'm gonna double check because I want to get this right. It's the Black Sea. Okay. Really? Yes, it is the Black Sea. Just want to make 100% sure. I don't want to get it wrong because it's not labeled. All right, so into the Black Sea, and so not only does Putin have all of Crimea, or I would say, Putin have all of Crimea, but there's tons of surrounding areas over in here, like Belarus and basically anywhere else, all the way down here, that are willing to help out the Russians and bring more war to Ukraine. Now, one of the biggest reasons that Crimea and Mariupol especially are so important is because shipping lanes. Obviously, you want to be able to bring supplies into here, and you can do that through some of these straits through Turkey, but you can also do that from different areas in your own held regions, your own allied regions and stuff like that. So if it takes 10 days to get, let's say, grain from this little red region over land over to fucking Crimea, let's say, or rather let's go up into Sverdlovsk. Takes 10 days, and it takes 2 days to do it through Mariupol. Yeah, you're gonna want to take that port. So big reason why they took the port. But that aside, what we have seen is just like I was talking about. Sverdlovsk has fallen, Lyshinsk has fallen, and this entire region has been taken over. And there's going to be, as you see all of this shelling that's going in, they're conditioning the environment. And what that means is basically they're shelling the area constantly, trying to blow up buildings, deny the enemy cover, and shock everyone around in order to get the civilian populace against the fighters and be like, hey, look, we just want to just stop, just go somewhere else. We don't want to die, and to make sure that buildings that could be used strategically are destroyed. So that's where we're going to continue to see, and that's essentially what they're doing. And you see all of this shelling is outside of their occupied areas. Again, if you would like to help with the video card, please do. Memes and tweets. Thank you. All right, there we go. We're back. So as you can see, yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're conditioning the environment, and they're just going to slowly move and creep ever so closer to Kyiv. Kyiv, not Kiev. And as you can see, like, once the Russians actually make it to the river over here. Sorry, I'm trying to. I almost called it the. Yeah. No. Okay. It's not the Volga. It's definitely not the Volga. I just want to. All right. Once the Russians can make it to this river and actually cut off this entire region, if they're able to do that, then they will have a massive chunk of the country that's going to have to be fought on two sides of a body of water, because you can't just put naval ships in. You can't just put a battleship in this river. It's not fucking Age of Empires. Yeah, like so what I'm suspecting that they would do is they're going to cut off this region and use this natural barrier as a way to force a pinch in supply lines through Kyiv and try to take over the eastern part of Ukraine in slower and slower increments, doing this sort of like chomp away tactic that the Russians have been using. And once they get to a certain point, probably this MSR right here, this big red one, that's when the trouble is really going to begin, because now it essentially breaks the country into two fronts, and you're going to have to be able to supply both sides. And if the only way to supply the eastern side is through Kyiv, then the Russians can easily go ahead and use the surrounding areas that they occupy to continue to blast into Kyiv and deny mobility. Essentially, all they have to do is deny the trucks and supply lines the ability to flow. You don't have to destroy the trucks. You just have to pop the tires. You just have to blow up buildings. You have to make sure that they have to drive through mud and everything like that. And as we go into the winter, this is going to become even more detrimental, because everything. I mean, this is where permafrost exists. It's hot as shit in the summer, and it's cold as fuck in the winter. It's not going to be a good time if you have to repair a truck in the middle of a fucking combat zone just to get a couple of MREs over to the front. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking that the Russians are trying to do. I don't know if it's actually going to work because of the aid that's being brought in from the West. But the problem is the aid from the West is starting to like kind of trickle in as well, because, well, it's essentially a conventional war, and all of these other countries have to agree, we're going to give the aid, but we're not going to actually fight. It's getting kind of the point. It's just like, when are we just going to actually fight? And we don't want that to happen. The whole point of this, and I know I'm going to make a quick side note. You can see in the background, I have the American and Ukraine flag. All right. I'm not on the side of the Ukrainian or Russian governments at all. I don't give a shit about the governments. All I care about is the people and making sure that this war ends. That's what I want. I'm just trying to give an update and see what's going on. It's an analysis and something that I like to do. So this, if anybody wants to say, hey, you're all about Ukraine, pretty much, yeah, I am all about Ukraine, making sure that this shit stops and the Russians go the fuck home, in that sense. But I am not on the side of any government. There we go. Even the U.S. government, most of the time, they suck. But we'll get into that later. All right. Now, aside from that, we do have a bunch of stuff to get in. I got a bunch of links for you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting these links up. What's the first one I wanted to? Okay, we'll do that. So this is somebody that I've oh no, dude, no, you're good. I just saw your message, Alan. This guy, I've gotten a lot of his community posts in my feed. The channel is called Headhunter. If you guys want to go ahead and here, I'll post it there if you want to check it out. And the thing I have to say about this this dude is. Hang on 1 second. I can agree with a lot of what he kind of says because his description is as such. He says, race, religion, ethnic pride, nationalism does nothing but teaches you how to hate people you've never met. Russia is an old friend of India. She is a friend indeed, not like the West who only remembers you when they need cash or help. I feel that what Russia is doing now is right for her safety and security. Nazism has no place in the modern world. They needs to be wiped out. Russophobia is just like Islamophobia. Now Western people don't talk about jihadi terrorists. Their main aim is Russia. The White West looted India for more than 400 years by making it a colony, took all its resources, wealth, and ancient heritages, and now they want to lecture India on morality, humanity, and rights. Hypocrisy has a limit. And you know what? That's a statement that there's a decent amount to unpack, but you know what? Motherfucker he ain't wrong. There's a decent amount in here that he is wrong about. But this one, Russia's an old friend of India, not like the West who only remembers you when they need cash or help. And the West has a history of doing that, obviously. Look at fucking India, for fuck's sake. And this is the part that really was really different. All right. This is the part that I really disagree with. I feel what Russia is doing now is right for her safety and security. If you feel that way, then I feel like you should feel the same way about the U.S. invading Iraq and Afghanistan. All right. So it should be justified in the same way, because if it's not, you don't start a war for security. You don't invade a country for your own security. You invade a country to take shit. Right? I don't know. Do you? That kind of goes against the Normandy invasion, though. I don't know. But that's the Normandy invasion is totally different from Iraq and Afghanistan, though. It was never for our security. We could have done that easily with actually doing the right thing, going after the right people. We knew everything that happened. U.S. intelligence is actually pretty fucking good. We just don't use it. But I don't know. So like this dude, the reason I want to share this guy out too is because his community posts are actually pretty detailed, and they go over what's actually in the articles and everything. And he does typically provide links for what he's talking about. So what they're talking about, I don't know, he, she, whoever. So yeah. And there's a decent amount in here. This guy is pro-Russia. However, look, there's some things we got to talk about. It's not wrong, but there's some things we got to talk about. I.e. this. And it's Soviet soldiers with captured German Panzerfaust then 1944 versus Russian soldier with captured German Panzerfaust now 2022. And he calls it then and now, same place, same weapon, same gang. I totally disagree because, well, the Nazis were actively exterminating people. I don't think that's part of like the Ukrainian government's plans. It doesn't seem to be, especially when it comes to like the Jews, considering their president is Jewish. Just saying. A little bit out there. And this is kind of the shit I'm talking about. So this seems to come from more of vitriolic place. And don't worry, it's on the other side too. This is one that got me, and we'll get into some combat footage here in just a second. But dude, okay. This is the kind of shit that I would expect out of someone like Admiral Six Killer, being like, this is just like, know you. Bro, this is some incel shit, too. Oh, you're going to call me an orc? Well, check out these badass fucking orcs from video games and stuff. No, you don't understand the colloquialism that I'm using. I'm calling you a piece of shit. When I call you an orc, that means you're a shitbag. You're a warmonger. And that's essentially what these guys are. They look badass, but that's all they're doing is going to war. Also, your Photoshop really sucks. Hey, look. I can say I do much better. And yeah, you missed the point. And all you're doing is showing that you missed the point. But all right, we'll look at a couple more. And this is one that I actually kind of agree with. Biden's like, Putin, be warned if you dare to invade Ukraine. Everybody's laughing at him, and it's just like, look, the U.S. is the laughing stock of the fucking world stage right now. So maybe don't make any fucking threats, especially when you can't follow through on a goddamn thing, Joe Biden. Where's my $2,000, Joe? All right, this is the last one we're going to look at, and then we're going to move on. Now, so it says, remember this N-level journalism. Russian 67-year-old General Pavel turns out to be the 58-year-old Ivan Ivanovich Turchin, a veteran of both the Russian military and the border guard. Here in 2011 or 20 years of service at the border of Uzbekistan. So this exclusive story, first published by the Daily Star, picked up by the Sun at Daily Mail, turns out to be entirely fictional. Dragged out of retirement to join battle on Ukraine. He is said to eat 5 meals a day, washed down with a bottle of vodka. Actual post from a Russian site. Okay. And Twitter thread exposure. All right. Exclusive store and data store. Okay, he just like copied and pasted. Total bullshit. Senior intelligence source for the article. It was picked up by virtually every other tabloid in UK, by a lot of international newspapers. First image shows search didn't reveal much, apart from the fact that the earliest online version of the photo was a Russian fat joke on Twitter, calling our chonky guy the commander-in-chief of the canteen. Okay. Okay. Dude, they're going to meme the shit out of. All right. In June, the photo also circulated on Reddit. And the our absolute truths. All right, that's fucking funny. Putin threatens use heavy. All right, that's okay. That's funny. A lot of people were skeptical of Daily Star. Pavel is only a first name, for instance, and some claim that the camel worn by the General Pavel was actually Ukrainian instead of Russian, so we came to finding out. Finding out where this picture was taken, resort to PIM eyes and its facial recognition search capabilities to identify the people in the photo. We didn't find Pavel, but the people to his left, turned out to be local administrators from Yelensky district in Volgograd Oblast, some 800 kilometers from Moscow. Okay. Could we find our Pavel? Oh my God, dude. Okay. Okay. So basically, they took a picture of this big fat fucking jackass and ran with the story where someone was like, "Oh yeah, well they pulled this fat motherfucker out, so like they must be, yeah, it's a shit story." And also, I don't trust a lot of fucking UK news or fucking tabloids, you idiot. Who the fuck? If it's a tabloid, you just don't, you look at it and be like, oh, I'm not going to buy that. Fuck it. Okay. Okay, this is all in Cyrillic, so I can't read it. All right, so that's not the only reason that people are talking about Putin scraping the barrel either. And that kind of goes into something I listened to earlier. Yeah, let's do it. Come on, Ryan Macbeth. All right. Yeah, your shorts. There we go.
Is Russia running out of soldiers? A Russian Telegram channel known as Military Informant posted an ad in the Nizhny Novgorod Oblast encouraging people to join a volunteer tank battalion. This here says defend your homeland. They're offering a cash bonus of 200,000 rubles, monthly pay of 250,000 rubles for a 6-month contract. It's roughly a $3,000 signing bonus and $3,800 a month, which is twice the normal salary for that region and 4 times the national average in Russia. What's interesting is that Nizhny is Russia's 4th largest city, with a very low unemployment rate. And it's the cultural and economic center of the Volga region. What's weird is that soldiers traditionally come from areas with lower economic opportunity. Georgia, South Carolina, and Idaho are America's top states for Army enlistment. So Russia is dangling 1.7 million rubles from their equivalent of San Francisco to try to raise a single battalion of tankers. This is not something that people who are winning do. And this isn't propaganda. This is Russia's Telegram channel. Proof is in the description below or on my website in case they delete it. Is Russia running out of soldiers? A Russian Telegram channel known as Military Informant posted an ad in the Nizhny Novgorod Oblast encouraging people to join a volunteer tank battalion.
So, there you go. It's yes, thank you for posting the Ryan Macbeth channel. He's super great, and he goes into more depth. He doesn't just do the shorts. The shorts are just the easiest way to get a lot of this information, and he is very I guess I won't scroll down. Anyway, he's very organized. He's got all his shit together. So the important thing to look at here is is to make sure that you source everything properly. And that's what he did. He went straight to the fucking source to find out what the hell is going on. And what old boy here that we're looking at, what old boy is running with is basically, yeah, these people didn't actually do any of the sourcing. They didn't do any of the they didn't get any of the real information. They didn't actually get a story or anything like that. So when they ran with this, it made them fucking look bad. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it's just it's a false fact that supports a true. It's a false narrative that supports a true fact. I don't know how to exactly explain that, because clearly Russia is having a little bit of a struggle with finding soldiers, and that could be for a million different reasons. It could be, a little bit. Ryan Macbeth could be a little bit more off than we know, but the long and short of it is basically this isn't necessarily false. And just because the media is dog shit doesn't mean you can't do the research yourself. All it took me is 2 seconds to look up Ryan Macbeth, and he put all the links there. He put all the sources, and oh boy, while he does put the sources in here, when we went to them, what did we find? Basically, this dude breaking down that this one thing was essentially false. It doesn't prove at all that Russia's not running out of soldiers. It just proves that this story is false. There we go. All right. So let's move along. What do we got? Should we start from the top? No, we'll start with a little bit more propaganda. All right. So This is we're gonna watch this, and yeah, if you guys haven't seen this, it's pretty interesting, but well, let's just watch.
Коротше, хуй знає, куди я заїхав. І я тут, що це нас, орки, блядь, їбашать? Десь на Чорнобаївку, десь в ту сторону. Що це за хуйня, блядь? Йобаний! Ух ти що, сука! Чуть нахуй не вбили. Єбать, це що зас? Ух ти ж! Ну його нахуй, блядь! Ти шо? Ти шо, блядь? Єбать! Ти шо, блядь? О, єбать!
Yeah, no, that's bullshit. First of all right, so let's break this down a little bit.
Десь на Чорнобаївку.
So we got this is obviously like it looks real. It looks like he's actually out in an environment. I don't know if this shit actually looks real. Like they actually made this happen. I don't know about the tanks in the background. I don't know how much like
Що, сука? Чуть нахуй не вбили.
editing they might have done, but
Єбать, ти що зас?
one,
Ух ти ж!
there's no weapons that really exist like that. Also, that gun firing like that would destroy that fucking the chassis and the frame and suspension of that vehicle. With that low, that would be that sound doesn't exist. That's not a real gun.
Ну його нахуй, блядь! Ти шо, блядь?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all fucking fake. Anyway, it's pretty easy to pick this shit out, but but at the same time, a lot of people fall for this. A lot of people will be like, whoa, that's so fucking crazy. No, it never actually happened. Don't worry, guys. But I just wanted to point that one out. A little bit more propaganda. All right. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into the end of the shit. We don't necessarily have a whole lot of we don't have a whole lot of like death and destruction or anything like that, but we do have a content warning where you're gonna see some fighting. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and check this out and break down some videos. Let's do it. So what we have: Ukrainian soldiers engage Russians in eastern Ukraine, and I don't just have Russian soldiers or Ukrainian soldiers. I do have some Russians, few Russians, because it's actually took me a decent amount of time to find it. So that's their music, not mine. Check this out. So anyone want to figure out what this symbol is that he's got on his arm? We've got some weird ass looking, looks like some melted ass swastika type deal. This looks like a city skyline of some sort, and then probably some battalion markings or company markings or something like that. And I'm guessing with the point, this is some kind of like combat arms battalion, combat arms group that represents this. Azov battalion, maybe, for the skyline of Mariupol, possibly. So check it out. If anybody wants to kind of look this up, I'm not sure where it comes from. But yeah, we'll look into that. Yeah, and you can see the dude straight up. He reaches on the ground and he picks up a fucking bullet. I can't really tell. It looks like a 7.62 round, but it looks more like a 7.62 by 5.9, not a 7.62 by 3.4, I believe it is, or 5.4 by 3.9. I always forget the fucking. I'm not a gun guy. Anyway, I just like guns, but looks more like a will be closer to like a 308, which is around what the M240 Bravo fires. So this is a significantly sized round, and this thing just, I don't know, bounced around and landed in their trench. Keep fighting, boys, I guess. All right. Yes. 5.45 by 3.9 millimeter is the primary cartridge field by most Eastern AK platform militaries. Okay. 5.45 by 3.9 millimeter. All right. That's a lot smaller than the 7.62. And that was definitely like a 308. The that would have come from a machine gun, a crew serve weapon. So crew serve weapons are something like a 240 Bravo or a 50 cal. And what a crew serve means is that it takes a crew, typically 3 people. So you have the like the gunner, the assistant gunner, and then the team leader, basically. And team leader is just like, hey, this is where we're going to set up the gun. The gunner sets up the gun. The assistant gunner carries the ammo, gives the ammo, points out targets, things like that. 7.62 by 3.9 is the original AK cartridge. 7.62 by 5.4R is used by SVD, PKM, and other machine guns. Okay. So yeah, that would be closer to a 7.60 by 5.4, and it likely came from a PKM or something like that. If they're engaged with the Russians, yeah, it's probably a PKM, something similar. And these rounds are just flying by. So these guys are engaging with rifle and RPG fire. Excuse me. And they're getting shot at with heavy machine guns. Well, crew serve weapons. But yeah, so pretty badass. And they're just chilling in the trench like, oh shit, look what I found. Sometimes you gotta. Anyway. All right. Now this one comes from the Ukrainians dropping munitions on the Russians. This is it's the Russia's equal to our 308, etc. Yeah, around a 308 size round, and the 240 Bravo fires essentially the same round. It's a 308. I think the M1 Garand fires like a 30-06. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can't believe I keep saying that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Two Guns, but I think it's a 30-06 and not a 308. But regardless, that's a massive round to be firing from a rifle. And that's what was used all through World War II, Korea, up through Vietnam until they came up with like the M14 and then the M16 and other weapons. All right, so what do we got here? We have our typical drone view, and we have the Ukrainians are about to drop a little bit of munitions on our Russians here, and you're gonna see what not to do, basically, how to panic, essentially. Yes, Garand was a 30-06. The 308 was derived from it, and 7.62 by 5.1 millimeter NATO is only a slight change from that. Yeah, and I imagine a lot of that has to do with one, agreements like laws of war, and two, the availability of resources, because part of the reason that the U.S. uses the 5.56 cartridge is because it's a small, fast bullet, so it has more penetration power, and it's able to get through light armor and be able to like penetrate your target better, causing them to be taken out of the fight rather than taken out of the fight quicker, basically. Whether that be them killed or not, it doesn't really matter as long as they're out of the fight. Whereas back in the day, a lot of it went down to like stopping power, because the Thompson fired a 45 ACP, I believe. So the 45 automatic Colt pistol is a big, slow bullet. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And just imagine I took a slingshot and hit you with a pebble. It would probably fucking break your skin, and you'd be like, ow, that fucking hurts. Now imagine if I took a fucking baseball-sized rock and threw it at you with my own arm. It might break your arm. You're gonna fall to the ground, be like, God damn, I'm in a lot of pain. So that larger, slower bullet will do a lot of stopping. Whereas the 30-06, though, that's gonna kill you. It's a hunting round, basically. I can go all day. Yeah. All right. 30-06, 308, 54R, etc. often called full power, whereas 5.56, 5.45 call be intermediate cartridges if you go by Forgotten Weapons terminology. Okay, we can always go by Gun Jesus's terminology because, well, it's Gun Jesus. Just saying. All right, let's get into this video, and then we're gonna.
Не важно, кто мы такие. Важно то, какой у нас план. Никому не было до меня.
All right. So obviously we've dropped our munitions. We've dropped our little bomb here, and what we have down here is some kind of truck. It's a supply truck of some sort. It says logistics team, I believe. What does it say? Logistics troops. So basically they're just pulling out ammo, supplies, whatever may be. And, well, this is part of war. You have to deny the enemy their supplies. And you can see down here you have a little bit of a fighting position. And this is marked by like all of the foot traffic that you see. Down here is all marched into this little bunker. You can see the entrance here. And then there's this mound of loose dirt that's going to protect them. If anything hits it, it's going to hit the dirt and explode and throw the dirt everywhere, that rather than trying to penetrate down or actually putting the shock down into the bunker and instead blowing it up and out. But these guys are out on the road and they're directly across from this bunker, so they're fucking their buddies pretty bad. And you can see that this is a common area for people to be in, getting supplies. So I don't know, maybe this is a cache. They may just be putting a bunch of supplies in here for troops that come by to actually get it. But regardless, they're not gonna have a good day.
Я делал, пока я не надел маску.
And you can see they actually run into what looks like it. Oopsie. It looks like they run into a wheat field. This is actually tall grain. This is actually grown in. And these guys are running in. And it looks like they're like, fuck, we're hurt. Like, we need to get the hell out of here. But they're not communicating at all. They don't know what the fuck to do. These three are like grouping together. They're like, oh shit, we need to get the fuck out of here. We got to stay in a group as a team. This guy's like, I'm getting to cover. Honestly, the best thing all of you can do is split up and get to cover, and then yell and communicate and be like, we need to get the fuck out of here, and help each other. So, long story short, these guys kind of suck at their basic soldier skills. And the reason basic training and boot camp exist is to give you those basic soldier skills. When you go through Marine boot camp, you're told to be a Marine. You're trained to be a Marine. You are a Marine first. You're a fighter first. Same with Army basic training. You're a soldier first, and then you are whatever job you do. You go through this basic combat training so that when shit like this happens, you can react properly. Now, a lot of that kind of goes by the wayside after you go through AIT, especially if you're in a more logistical or technical MOS. So a lot of folks that went through like public affairs did their basic combat training, and then they went through public affairs, and it's just like, well, why do I even have to go to the range? Like, they get issued an M16 because they only fire it once a year. Kind of shit like that. And that's a failure on the military itself. Not a failure on these soldiers necessarily, but a failure on the military itself, because they're not putting the basic soldier skills into these soldiers. And when things like this happen in a combat zone, they're not able to properly react. So they end up bunching up, and, well, who knows what other damage could have been done to the troops and to the people they were trying to supply and to their equipment, because, well, they floundered in the face of adversity. So this is just a kind of an insight into why basic soldier skills are so important, and it kind of alludes back to the Russians trying to like recruit from like such a high population region, or such a, I guess, a well-off region, more well-off region, trying to get soldiers because they need people, but they're not giving them the basic soldier skills that they need. They're just like, hey, we need you to supply these motherfuckers. And when you don't train your soldiers, you're gonna get shit like this. All right. Oopsie. We need to keep that open. Yeah, we're gonna get to thems. Don't worry. All righty, we got another one. Here we go, folks. Hit that like button. Share it around. All right. So this one comes out of Ukraine. No shit. Member of Ukrainian Special Forces, a special operations team calling themselves the A Team, conduct a near ambush on a lone Russian vehicle at an intersection in the road. Okay. So we're going to see, basically what we're going to see in this video is we're going to see the close-up, and then we're going to see the aftermath of the operation. We're kind of going to be able to break down how they did this. So we got these guys rolling along.
己を孤独という地獄に追い込んだ者。
So essentially this vehicle came down the road, and that Ukrainian soldier popped out, and there's no difference between these tactics and like a gang hit. Like, it's literally just the same ambush. If we go back, there's a little bit of trouble here though. Well, one, the weapon he's using is actually it's a Ukrainian weapon, I believe. It's a bullpup, and I think this is actually their standard battle rifle. I think this soldier is actually left-handed. Either that, the camera's flipped, which I doubt it, but the charging handle is on the left-hand side, so dude might be left-handed. So he goes at it, and he just pop, 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 pop. And we know it's bullpup because the magazine is all the way here in the back, like every other bullpup. So he unloads. Anybody's like, why not just use a rocket? You only got one. You can't reload that motherfucker. It's a law. It's a basically you pull the tube out, single shot, and then that's it. You got to throw the tube down. It's not like an RPG where you have multiple rockets. So you have to use them strategically. Hey, I have something.
己を孤独という地獄に追い込んだ者を
Is that Japanese? I'm not familiar with the rifle, but the charging handle on the left is appropriate for a right-handed bullpup design. Okay. I've never fired a bullpup. I've never handled a bullpup, so I couldn't tell you. I've only ever held like a standard fucking battle rifle, an M4. So like I can charge that, AK, yes. Like I understand that where the charging handle is and everything like that, but not a bullpup. Like I don't disagree with the bullpup, not on that team. But you can see here we have the vehicle. This is the vehicle that was engaged, and we can see where it was kind of engaged at. So right here, what they're going to do, the way they've got this set up is they've got a vehicle over here and a vehicle up in the top, and those are going to pinch this one into here. Now, if you're thinking like, why not give 3 vehicles? 3 vehicles may not be available. Or if they're going to use 2 vehicles, if they have 3 vehicles available, they can save one. And since their soldiers are actually over here on left-hand side, on the other side of the road, this vehicle has no other option than to turn left and come down this road and possibly go into this little fatal funnel here where all of these soldiers are, to just cap them if the driver happens to survive the first ambush. Because what that guy did was he unloaded, and he wasn't really aiming. He was just unloading on this car. Now, he could have unloaded on the car. All of the bullets could have just gone straight past the driver or barely injured him. And the dude could just be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and drive off. So that's where you want to get them to a point where you know where they're going to go and you can finish the job. You can mop up. Essentially the same thing as creating a fatal funnel and like luring people into basically luring people into a hallway, if you can do that. Excuse me. So oh, okay. Everything since the AUG that I'm aware of, with some exceptions. Yeah, I know the AUG has like you can switch over the charging handle from left to right. So I don't know if that's standard on bullpups, because the AUG, like it fits whatever shooter. You can give it to somebody like, oh, I'm left-handed. Switch the charging handle over to the left hand, to the proper side, and you can actually charge it more effectively. But so they zoom in. Some cars, check it out. Oh, this dude reversed. Hold on, let me check that out. Oh, no, he just turned around. Okay, for a second there, I thought this dude like reversed down the road. That's fucking badass. So they get out, and you can see this dude is over here. I believe he's the driver. And what he's doing, he's pulling security on that vehicle. He doesn't know if anybody's still alive, if they're still willing to, if they have a bomb or anything like that. He's just going to sit there and be like, look, if there's any movement, I'm opening fire. These guys are our troops who came out of here. It looks more like they might have been over here. Maybe they were spread out. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, the Korean troops are coming in, and looks like they're getting into the vehicle in order to get still, I don't know. Yep. Yeah, that's essentially what's happening. They went in, ambushed this vehicle, and then just got the fuck out of there. It looks like, and yeah, special forces team. So it makes a whole lot more sense that they would go there, do the job, and get the fuck out, and leave somebody else to go and gather anything else. Maybe because they have other operations, they have to fucking, I don't know. But I would expect them to actually like search that vehicle. It doesn't seem like they did though. Weird. That's a weird thing. That's a red flag for me. Why didn't that special forces team search that vehicle? All right, I do have to go and use the latrine really quick, so I'm definitely gonna go do that. In the meantime, I'm gonna leave you guys with just the patrol music. I gotta go. That's enough out of you. All right. All right, folks. So thank you, Mango Jones. Yeah, all of the music is provided by Ali and Human Being. There it is. That's the first one. And the artwork was provided by Alan Reyes. I still love that picture to death. It's fucking hilarious. Like, I can't get over it. I want to make a character out of it, but I don't know how to do animation. Anyway, but yes, check out those links and please, by all means. No, where'd you go? All right, there it is. All right, so we got a couple of things. I had a bunch of things. We're going a little long with this, so we'll get into this one. And this is, so I want to show you a little bit of propaganda, and then I have another one we're going to show you that is actual footage from like Russians. This one's a little bit more propaganda. This is the Chechens. Now the Chechens' role in this war has essentially been basically to drain resources from Russia in order to fuck around in Ukraine and let the Russians go and kill the Ukrainians so that they can, well, probably go in and mop up and give influence and everything like that, and well, spread Islam, because get that picture made into a flag and hang it outside while you're at work. That's not a bad idea. That's really not a bad idea. Just get the on patrol too. That would be fucking sweet. I might actually do that. But anyway, so the Chechens, the Chechens have been, they've been fighting, but they haven't really been doing much. They've basically just been taking Russian equipment and resources and being like, yeah, we're gonna, you know, fight for the Russian government. We'll put out propaganda, but it's really easy to like poke holes in their fucking stories. We've seen it before. We watched a video where they were basically like shooting at streetlights, and They were shooting basically over a bus. Now, you can fire any missile, any projectile into the air at an angle, and when it comes down, it's going to be at a greater velocity than if you fired it straight up. Because if you fire it straight up, it's going to stop, and it's only going to come back down at 9.8 meters per second squared, right? At the speed of gravity. That's the only way it's going to fall down. At an angle, it will go and actually hit your target at a greater velocity. But that's not an effective way to use a weapon in most scenarios. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So, what is this guy doing? Apparently, he's taking on 10 million Russians. Ukrainians?
Скоро Украины не будет, не переживайте. Ахмад сила, Аллаху Акбар. Они больше не появятся здесь никогда в жизни. Мы Ахмад сила, Аллаху Акбар.
And yes, the Chechens are Muslim. So anytime you hear the Chechens say Allahu Akbar, yeah, that's why. I'm not sure what the hell he's saying, but see the description. There's a typo in the title of this video. We meant to type 10 billion Ukrainians. This footage was filmed in a top secret location and shows the Chechen soldier formerly known as Fragmentation destroying all of NATO. Legend has it this Chechen soldier once fought Chuck Norris and Omni-Man at the same time and won. On a real note, I think I'm just going to start putting all the Cardia battalion footage into the humor section, since almost none of their TikTok videos feature any actual combat footage. And that's why you shouldn't trust this is why you should trust your critical thinking, your experience, and your knowledge to be able to break down these videos and these stories, and not just what's presented. If you're confused or you are questionable about anything that's presented through the news, especially about a conflict or a war like this, you need to go and do your research and source it and be like, ask the question. Don't take this as an authority. These are not authority figures. They are presenters, and they should be willing to be asked questions. If they can't answer those questions, then you should be suspect of what they're presenting. So the next to those tracks really got what was coming to them. Yeah, it really did, man. Like one of these railroad ties is clearly just, it's dying, it's bleeding out over there. And yes, friendly reminder, all of these videos are provided by Funker 530. They are not political by any means. They just provide combat footage from all over the world for the purpose of being able to present it. People need to see things like this. There's a lot more shit on here that I can't show on YouTube because it's NSFW. You see people getting blown up, killed, things like that. And it's the reality of war. It's the reality of life. It's the reality of conflict across the world. So if you guys really want what's going on in the world, check this out. These guys, like, they have some of this shit, like the humor section, obviously, but a lot of this, the vast majority of this, is just combat footage, so you can see what's happening raw. Instead of having like a presenter. All right. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. I've been using new detergent, and it's really strong, and I don't like the smell. I think it's meant to go in a dryer, and I usually put my stuff on a line in the summer. All right. All right, so I'll save that one for the end. Check it out. The importance of flares, folks. So we have Russian Ka-52, it's an attack helicopter, similar to our Apache, but I would say it's less advanced. I don't know the firepower behind the Ka-52. I would say the Apache is probably better, but that's just my bias because the Apache is fucking amazing. I mean, a 30mm cannon that tracks with the pilot's helmet. You can't beat that unless you do this. But if you've seen a lot of the aircraft videos that we've watched, they're always pumping out these flares, and that's exactly what happened here. This helicopter was probably like, "Oh shit, you're being targeted. Go ahead and like pump out flares," or just the pilot was like, "We're under a hostile area," pumped out flares or saw the missile or whatever, and that's what happened to this. This missile got confused by the flares, and it went after one of them, but those flares just burn up and they don't do anything, so it loses its tracking. That's the whole point of them pumping out those things all the time. Because if they're going over a hostile area, obviously they're going to be firing down. Well, people are going to be firing back. It's not like the fucking 1600s where it's like, all right, everybody line up on the battlefield and fire at each other, and then if you don't get hit, reload. So you can see there's the man pads, goes off. He's fire more flares, flares, and it whoop misses them. Not sure why it missed. If it is the flares, then yes, that's why. But it could just be. Excuse me. Could just be the targeting was off. And these rockets here, these are actually smart missiles. So the reason they have this little flat spot here, I believe, is just to be able to look at the optics on the missile, or cover the optics on the missile or something like that. But yeah, these are smart rockets. They're not like the they're a lot larger than the Hellfire rockets that the Apache carries, but yeah, somebody can correct me on exactly the nomenclature and everything like that. But the 70mm Hellfire rockets that the Apache carries are far more numerous in armament than these, but these are obviously going to be more sophisticated, more powerful per shot, since there's 4 of them in larger tubes, whereas the 70mm rockets are in that little rocket pod. All right. Ouchie. All right. What was... All right. Yeah, we'll do that one last. So we're going to watch one more thing, then we're going to go over some a little bit of information. How long have I been gone? Far too long. Yeah, an hour and a half. I'm going to cut it a little bit here. We'll go over this, and then we'll move along. So you've got Russian forces, and this actually looks like this doesn't look like propaganda. This kind of looks more like what I would do, public affairs, where you're just actually getting B-roll. What we have here is it looks like the commander of this BMP, this fighting vehicle, is talking to all the infantry. I imagine this is the infantry that's supposed to be in the vehicle, and they're now going to go in and assault whatever location, and he's talking to them. He's just saying, you know, hey, here's how we're gonna do this. And this guy looks to be, he's probably like the NCO or something. He's the leader of all of these troops. He's the leader of the tank and crew. He's the leader of the crew. Makes sense? That's odd. I want to show that again real quick. That's really weird. So, like I was saying, this is obviously like a public affairs type guy. This guy's on the front lines filming this. Why did he move the camera when they did the high five? Did they do like a secret handshake or some shit? I don't know. It's really weird that he just like points to the back of the crew and then only pans back over once this guy's gone. These fuckers are ready. Long ass video. Alright. So this is a good representation of supporting infantry. So the vehicle ahead, this BMP, is firing into the area that they're going to go. This heavy weapon is firing in. Now the supporting infantry is down below the profile of this vehicle, so that any rounds that are coming in are going to be stopped by the armor of the vehicle, and they can be looking around to see if there's going to be anybody who's hidden in any of these buildings that might have, you know, a javelin or something like that might be able to take this out, or have a machine gun that could take them out, and they'll be able to react. And you can see, like, this is the sound that this cannon makes on this BMP. Think of the sound that we heard on that vehicle. That was Hollywood. So this is from RT, as you can see by the gigantic watermark. Please charge at least once. You can see by the giant watermark. So take this shit with a grain of salt. They may be assaulting some empty buildings. And that kind of looks like what they're doing. Yeah, this basically looks like yeah. It doesn't look like a staged assault. But I don't think they're as close to the action. I don't know. I mean, they're definitely moving troops in. It's the second squad that they've moved in, and this I don't know if that's another BMP. They're the same BMP, but it's providing that cover fire. But it's providing the cover fire in a different direction. Before, the BMP was firing off here. Now it's firing off to the left. So I'm wondering if that other squad has occupied the building or whatever they were going into, and that BMP is up there, and then this one is firing off off to the left for whatever reason, and then moving some other troops in. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Tactics do kind of make sense, but at the same time, I'm skeptical as to where the enemy is. Where the targets actually are. Hold on, let me pull that back just a little bit. Firing straight or to the left? It's firing. Oh, he's firing. Oh, he's straight up firing into this building. Now we see where they're firing at. So he's just destroying the shit out of this apartment building. And that repeat that you hear boom, 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 and then the return, that's not people firing back. That's the rounds impacting.
Сейчас под прикрытием БТР третья группа десанта
Anybody
зашла
that
в
speaks Russian,
администрацию Левобережного района. БТР отступает, ну, прикрыл десант, уходит назад.
You seem so calm for being in a war zone. That's what public affairs does. Like, you're a soldier first, like I said, and then you go and do this. Like, that's exactly what happens. Like, that was my job, was to this would at some point have been my fucking job, to go in there and follow these motherfuckers around. Typically the Marines do that a whole lot more, and the Air Force makes all the commercials. Navy's on. No. Okay, this is fake. How do I know this is fake? How do I know he's not really firing at a real target? This motherfucker has been there way too fucking long, firing way too many volleys. He's a target. Now you're moving back. Turrets forward. That's too many volleys. That motherfucker was fairly safe. He knew nothing was coming at him. That's one of those things. This is bullshit. Now this might be bullshit. Let me call that one. First of all, no, this is bullshit. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Let's check this out. Okay, one, this camera's on a tripod. We know that for a fact because, well, it's not moving at all. It's on a tripod. You don't put a camera on a tripod in combat zone. I have filmed videos, a ton of videos, and I have left the tripod off to the fucking side because, well, I can tuck that motherfucker in like a rifle and use the image stabilization that it has on its own and get the shots that I need, or use that waviness, that shakiness, to actually get the shots that I need that might be a little bit better, more realistic. And if you look at TV nowadays, they use the tripod a whole hell of a lot less because they'll have somebody. It makes you seem like you're there because you have that motion of just standing there, because people shift. They you move your muscles around. You do things when you're just standing still. So this is definitely, they are safe. They're safe. They may be in Mariupol. They may be close to the action, but these people are actually safe. This camera operator is out in the open. All of these troops are out in the open. Cameras on a tripod. They're just filing past, and they're doing the soldier thing. What's going on, GeoSam? I heard that the white tape on their arms and legs is for training, but don't quote me on that. No, the white tape on their arms and legs is for identification. You're gonna see a lot of that. This is an older video, I believe, as well. Yeah, it's from April 24th. Now, the Russians do have like the red and black, but the white tape, I believe, was I'm not sure where it came about, but it's not for training. I know that because there have been plenty of fucking dead Russians with white tape on them. The red and black tape that you will see has been used, but there seems to be kind of a mixture. The blue tape and the blue or yellow tape obviously is used by the Ukrainians, and I don't want to go into it, but it actually kind of pisses me off that these are things that are happening, because you have to use colored tape to identify who to kill. Have we gotten to that point? Like, we're so similar in everything that we do and how we fight that the only way to distinguish between the two people is literally a piece of colored ribbon. It's pretty fucked up if you think about it. But yeah, this is definitely propaganda. Yes, there's a shitload of bad info going around, and I'm glad you said that, GeoSam, because I'm gonna give some bad info from Ukraine. Not necessarily bad info, but skeptical info. Something you shouldn't necessarily take to heart. Okay. The reason... Okay, this is definitely fucking propaganda. Dude. Nobody carries a rifle like that. Somebody handed this shit to you and was like, carry this by. Because it's got that blue Ukrainian tape. Why would you tape your rifle? That doesn't make any sense. And this is painter's tape. This isn't actually the duct tape that they use around their arms. This is painter's tape. This is something they found some painter's tape and wrapped around here because those are two different shades. Plus, this is a matte. This isn't glossy, so it doesn't make sense that you would wrap your rifle. Why would you wrap your rifle and not just your arm? You're identifying yourself as Ukrainian, not your rifle. And why is he carrying it? Why do you have this? You're going in to assault another place. Why are you carrying the enemy's rifle? That's for the people mopping up, picking up weapons and stuff like that. The reason you're carrying this is for propaganda, and it's pointed off to the back because someone basically just handed it to you as like, carry this. Those little bits, guys, you can easily pick them apart. And we're back at this same area. I don't know, we got something burning over there, I guess. This looks like that's just, oh shit, no, that's just a smoke grenade. Yeah. See, right there. You can see there's a smoke grenade, and that's the source. It's just behind a rock or something. So they're just pumping out a bunch of smoke into this area to make it seem like it's burning. Either that, or they're going to try and use the smoke to move this BMP through, which it's not fucking working. You would want the smoke on the other side because this apartment building is kind of going to create a funnel, and well, you gotta check the wind. They didn't check the wind. What was the point of the smoke if they're just going to move soldiers straight through here? Smoke didn't work, so they already know where you are. Okay, that vehicle would never stop moving in a combat zone unless there was something obstructing its way. You continuously creep that vehicle along and get those soldiers out of the fucking kill zone. If they're gonna stop, that possibly means that someone's targeting them, and that, hey, they might know it, so that you can't track them. But at the same time, you don't stop. You're crossing this hallway, basically, this zone of exposure, kill zone. All right, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. That was propaganda. So, yeah, and then look, as you've seen throughout this stream, it's fairly easy to break stuff down. I have a decent amount of knowledge, so I can break stuff down, but it's easy to break stuff down into whether or not it's bullshit or if it's actual real combat footage. And while there's a lot of combat footage that we've looked at thus far tonight and throughout the past, that's been from the Ukrainians, whereas the Russians aren't willing to show that. They're not willing to show the actual combat footage. They're willing to show them doing their operations. Dog and pony show. Yeah, it looked really staged to me too. I don't trust that for a fucking second. All right. So we're going to go into one more thing, and then we're going to GTFO. All right, where is my... All right, there it is. So check this motherfucker out. This is the Ukrainian Gyatsint B, and it's a 152 millimeter cannon. If you guys are like, wow, that looks a little familiar, these are the kind of cannons that they had in like World War II. All right. These are massive artillery cannons. They're nothing to shake a stick at. However, the reason that these ones aren't so prevalent in the news is because the M777 that was provided by the US is so significantly better. And I'm going to show you why here in just a second. But we're going to check this shit out. So we got the firing.
Быстрее! Быстрее!
All right. Sending rounds downrange seems pretty fucking cool. All that good gravy stuff. But yeah, let's check out this one. This is the M777. There's some very key differences in these two. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry. Now, as you can see, like I said, there's some significant differences. What was it? There we go. Yes, that's the one I want to go to. I didn't mean to close it. So as you can see, one of the main differences between these two artillery pieces is the size. Just look at the size of this M77 compared to the Gyatsint. I gotta fucking remember that. The Gyatsint is absolutely fucking massive. It is huge. It's got 4 tires on it. You got to carry that motherfucker everywhere. Part of the reason for that is the Gyatsint is mostly made out of steel, where the M777 has a lot more titanium components, so it's easily towed. It's a lot more versatile. This one, there's a lot more. There's a lot more differences. So we'll check that out real quick. So Gyatsint, actually Jetson, I don't know. Oh, Hyacinth. Oh, there we go. All right, the Gyatsint, and you can see from just this picture, it literally looks like it's out of World War II, because essentially it is. It's a World War II cannon. And the motherfucker is ready to be towed by the most gas-guzzling diesel engine you can find and ready to get out onto the field. It's formidable. It's a motherfucker. It can launch rounds at 40 kilometers. What is it? Where's the maximum range? 30 to 40 kilometers, so 19 to 25 miles. It can launch these rounds, which is actually a decent amount farther than the M777. However, if you look at this thing, you have to get that onto the battlefield. There's nobody, because nobody's going to be pushing that. Nobody's going to be pushing that M777. But you know what? This thing has to be towed, one, from the back, and two, by a large truck. You have to have the vehicle able to move this fucking thing. On top of that, it fires a 152 millimeter round. Oopsie. Whatever. 152 millimeter round, whereas the M777 fires a 155 millimeter round. Also, the M777 has the ability to fire Excalibur rounds, which are the like high speed rounds that we now have for the U.S. military, which I think they got like fins. They can fucking correct themselves. I don't know. It's wild. But as you can see, it only has an effective range of 21 to 22 kilometers, so 13 to 14 miles. You got to get this thing a whole hell of a lot closer, but that's possible because of the size. This is significantly smaller and significantly is it significantly lighter? I don't know. Let's see. What is the weight? Mass, 4,200 kilograms. Oops. Oh, shit. There it is. Okay. Close. Mass. Yeah, it is about half the size. So we have a 4,200 kilogram, 9,300 pound, or a 21,000 pounds artillery piece. So this the M777 delivers a little bit more punch, is more accurate, is half the weight, and easily it fires essentially the same way as every other artillery piece. You have the same crew, you have the same spotting and target identification tactics that you use, and well, this thing can lob a 155 millimeter rounds, fucking 13 miles, and good fucking luck. Also, this is in training, and you can tell because this Marine, I believe, possibly, no, he's not an officer. This Marine does not have a magazine in his weapon. So, yes, they are in training. Also, this is an old ass picture because they're wearing like old Kevlars. Yeah, this is actually dude, this is such an old ass picture. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah, not only do they have like the Kevlar helmet, but I think that's the chocolate chip. No, it's not the chocolate chip uniform. But they have, this looks like this is an IBA. This isn't even an IOTV. This is an IBA. This is what I was issued in basic training. This picture is probably over a decade old. When was it taken? It doesn't say. All right. So that's kind of the reason why why those artillery pieces have been sent to Ukraine, because they are so much lighter and so much more effective than the weapons that they have at their disposal, which are these World War II era. Basically, it's just a gigantic barrel. There's no sophistication to it. You just put the round in and let it fucking go. And you can tow it wherever. You just have to be able to have solid ground. And with those M777s, one thing that they can do is when the dirt turns to mud, when the seasons change, they can go from the permafrost to like a muddier terrain a lot more easily, because they have to tow half of the fucking weight. And if they have the trucks to tow these, they can tow half of the weight plus the supplies plus fucking more troops and all of those other things that come along with it. The M109 has a 155 self-propelled 109 self-propelled howitzer. Is that the Paladin? I think it is M109. Yeah, it's Paladin. Okay. Yeah, I've seen these. These motherfuckers are pretty goddamn formidable. You don't fuck with a Paladin. However, common space, these are not the most effective. I believe they carry the rounds with them, so they only have a smaller capacity, but they're easily moved and easily emplaced. But at the same time, they're vulnerable when moved. I mean, just like anything else, they don't have really any other armaments other than the 50 cal here. But there's a lot of advantages, but at the same time, I would say the biggest disadvantage would be the ability to carry ammo. I don't know, because I think the logistics behind this is they carry a lot of their own ammo. I don't think they have the supply chain behind them, because you think about a towed artillery piece can probably, if it's towed by the truck can carry, I don't know, let's say 100 rounds of for artillery. It just as a stopping point, plus their artillery piece itself. Even though these things are mobile, they might be only able to carry like 10 rounds on their own. So there's not the most advantageous thing. But then again, I was military police, not artillery. And yeah, the Paladins are pretty fucking sweet. Also, let me see one thing. Let's see, Control T. Let's see what their range is. So they have about the same range it's about 13 miles. So they're pretty good. It kind of raises the question of why we haven't sent them, but at the same time, I think the M77 777s might be a little bit better. Probably. Well, you know what? That's actually a good point, because if the truck gets stuck, you have to pull the whole ass truck out. But if the truck gets stuck and you can still move the artillery piece, you can just hook it up and grab a new artillery piece. Otherwise, the Paladin, you got to get a fucking Hercules to get that motherfucker out. So it gets stuck in the mud, which is a lot of what the Russian tanks have been doing. It would pay to have a lighter vehicle. So that makes a lot more sense for them to be fighting in the summer, with the permafrost melting and everything like that, and there being a lot more mud. All right, let's get a couple more, I think, and then I got two more, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. I got one more, and then we'll get the hell out of here. I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna do a short because I'm hungry. I want to go eat. Alrighty. Now this is gonna be interesting. So RPGs, rocket propelled grenades. It's not a rocket. They have a timer in them. They'll explode after a certain distance. And this dude clarifies. I think he says it's 900 meters. So once this rocket actually goes off, it's probably just going to blow up in the air. And it would have to be angled as such as to be able to fall on the target as it blows up in order to have any fucking effect. But yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures, and this happens. I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to turn myself off and turn this up a little.
Indirect fire RPGs. Heard about them? I've never seen a tripod for one. Is that guy missing an arm? Yeah. Anyways, the accuracy of these is limited to that general area over there, and not a lot of range. Talking about 1,000 meters or less, which isn't much compared to even a small mortar. Most RPGs do have a self-destruct timer that goes off around 900 meters. So it's possible these could be used as like an airburst munition over troops in the open, but probably wouldn't use these anti-tank warheads. Not a lot of frag coming out of the, just going to stand in the backblast there. Indirect fire RPGs. Heard about them? I've never seen a tripod for one. Is that guy missing an arm? Yeah. Anyways, the accuracy.
The guy missing an arm. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's got a lot of good points. So he's saying these only work within about 1,000 meters. So you're not really going to get the effect you need. You could do the same thing with a machine gun. These are just basically going to come in and be an annoyance, basically be yes, that soldier definitely did only have one arm.
Of these is limited to.
They're gonna come in, and they're not gonna really do anything. If they blow up in the air, it's basically gonna have some kind of psychological effect. But yeah, there's not a whole hell of a lot here. And like he was saying about the anti-tank rounds as opposed to anti-personnel rounds, obviously an anti-personnel round is going to fragment a whole hell of a lot more in order to cover a larger area and kill more people, whereas an anti-tank round is meant to penetrate, so it's not going to fragment as much. There were pictures that came out of Ukraine of of what do you call RPG rounds wrapped with like 50 cal ammo. And what that may have been is just anti-tank rounds given a little bit of extra fragmentation. And it's just sort of like throwing. It's just, you could have done the same thing with rocks or fucking pieces of scrap metal. They just happen to have ammo rounds. So they threw it at that. Plus, it litters the battlefield with UXOs that are now unstable. So people would step on a 50 cal round and, well, there goes your toes. So be skeptical of things like this. You might be like, oh, that's some fucking hillbilly engineering. That's pretty cool. But it could be the 5-minute crafts of war. You never know when these things are actually going to like be that effective. This you can kind of guess. It's really not. Once you break it down. A while back, we looked at Russian helicopters that would fly down. They would angle themselves up steeply and fire off their rockets in order to create like a pseudo type of rocket launcher, an MLRS, in order to hit an area. But you're going to hit an area. You're not necessarily going to hit your target. You're going to hit an area, and it's just a guess, basically. But I don't think oh no, I don't need to listen to you and your side hustles. All right. Do I have any more? I got a couple more, but I'll save them for next time. It's been about 2 hours. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for being here. I always appreciate it. Please hit all of the charity descriptions down below. They all go to humanitarian aid for Ukrainian charities that also help out all over the world. I don't see any of the money. Mango doesn't see any of the money. It just goes straight to the charities. If you guys want to help, please, by all means, do that. I know I got the thing going across the bottom. If you want to cash out for helping the dog, please do. And helping the computer, please do. Other than that, I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And I had a really good time. Thank you. So hopefully you enjoy your Sunday, and the rest of the week is a little bit better. And there's the charity things. You can also get a tax write-off. Yes, this is true. If you get your tax write-off, please do get it. Let's see if I have some. I usually have something a little funny for you guys when I leave, but let's see if it's in my. Did I put in my liked videos? Probably. Oh, this is my liked videos. What? Oh no, it's just not gonna. Well, I'm okay. That was weird. All right. So, how not to destroy a missile? I don't know. Is this the one? Sorry, my computer's starting to act funky. What the hell? The internet.
And you ready to fire at it? That's close. What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is an S-300 surface-to-air missile system, and
surface-to-air missiles are massive. They're gigantic, as you can see from these tubes. There's a lot of propellant in there. There's a lot of explosives in there. This guy is probably 15 meters away.
And right here is a soldier getting ready to fire at it. That's close.
Yeah, that probably should have killed him.
What do you think was going to happen?
All of those things falling on the ground, by the way, is just propellant. It's just blocks of propellant because it uses solid propellant, not liquid propellant. So it uses solid propellant, and that thing breaks apart when it explodes, and those things just burn. So that guy's probably not having a good fucking day. Shut up, Nags. All right.
So this is an S.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Take care. I will see you all on the next one. See you next Sunday. We will do another weekly war update. Hopefully shit doesn't get worse and we can find an end to this war. Please share this video around. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, do all the good things. Correct me when I'm wrong. Do it in the comments. And hey, I'm always willing to have a discussion on this just because I'm not Ukrainian, so I don't know the intricacies, nor am I Russian, so I don't know the intricacies there either. I'm American. I'm just trying to analyze this, and I'm trying to analyze some combat footage. And if you have any different takes on the footage that we've watched, please, by all means, down in the comments, do it. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you next.